Happy Halloween. How about a true gigging ghost story? And I say that sincerely. My friend Smokey, yeah, reminds me of a drummer I used to play with. Anyway, the year is 1972, maybe 1973, and the band is playing at the Evolution, which is the happening club in Parkersburg, West Virginia. Now, back in those days, you played from Wednesday through Saturday. So we were there ready to go on Wednesday, but it's a long trip from Pittsburgh to Parkersburg. And fortunately for us, the club provided a house just outside of town where the band could stay. Typical frame house, 2-story. And what they did, they took every room except the kitchen and the bathroom and turned them into bedrooms. The dining room had a couple beds in it. The living room had beds in it. There was a bedroom downstairs and a couple bedrooms upstairs. There were beds everywhere. You could sleep a lot of people there. The weird thing about this house, though, was the stairway right in the middle of the house. At the bottom of the stairway, there was a door. So if you wanted to go up the stairs, you had to open the door to go up the stairs. And at the top of the stairs, there was another door. And so when you got to the top of the stairway, you had to open that door to go out into the hallway. Weird. I've never seen anything like that. So the first time we're down there, we're all hanging out in the house, all kinds of crazy stuff going on. You can imagine a bunch of 19-year-old rock stars. And every once in a while, I would hear someone come down the steps. I was staying in one of the rooms downstairs that trip, and I'd look to see who would be opening the door. And nobody ever opened the door. And for some reason, I didn't really give it any thought. Second trip down there to Parkersburg, to the Evolution, to the happening place. We had already had adventures on that second trip. The truck caught on fire on the way to the gig. That's another story. But anyway, I was upstairs. And every once in a while, I'd be upstairs. I'd hear someone come up the steps, and I'd look to see who's going to open the door. Nobody opened the door. One time, there was 2 or 3 of us having a conversation, and we heard someone coming up the steps. We all stopped and we all looked, and the door never opened. And Richie, the bass player, walked over and opened the door. Of course, there was nobody there, and he said, "Those guys are messing with us." Well, it's not exactly what he said, but you get the idea. So anyway, this kind of went on. And the second trip there, we had met some fine young ladies. The young ladies of Parkersburg back in the day, they were something. At the end of the first set, as I walked off stage, as we all walked off stage, there was a young lady grabbed us by the arm and said, "You're with me." There was no flirting involved or nothing. It had been decided for us. And the phrase of the day back then amongst the ladies was, "Let's get it on." So, quite a time in Parkersburg. So anyway, the second trip when we're down there, we had so much fun that we decided to stay on Sunday and hang out with the fine young ladies and so forth. And Mark and I, the keyboard player, we had gone to dinner with 2 of the girls. An interesting place called Bonanza or Ponderosa or something like that. It was like a cafeteria where you could get a steak dinner for under $10. We didn't have anything like that in Pittsburgh back in the day. But anyway, as we're sitting there, we're eating our dinner, and one of the girls asked us, "Have you seen the ghost in the house?" And right away I knew where this was going, and I could feel the hairs on the back of my neck stick up, and Mark felt the same way. So they proceeded to tell us that in that house there had been a little old lady that lived there, and that she had fallen down the stairs, and who knows how long she laid there, because it was, I don't know whether it was days or weeks or whatever before somebody went in there and opened the door to that stairway and found her, and she had died in there. And they're telling us that every now and then somebody would see the little old lady going up or down the steps. We didn't see her, but we found out that all of us had been hearing someone go up and down those stairs. All of us had. So it kind of gave us the creeps. And then we're coming home from the restaurant that day, and the only one that was left in the house that didn't have anything to do was Richie, the bass player. And we drive up to the house, and right beside the house there was this big antenna. I don't know, a CB antenna or a TV antenna or something like that. It was like a big aluminum ladder going up into the sky. And there's Richie climbing down the CB antenna. Okay. Very happy to see us. So when he gets down and we start talking to him, he's freaked out. He says there is someone or something in that house on those stairs. And he wasn't going to go up or down those stairs anymore. He would take the CB antenna route. So who knows? Now that house, I believe, is still there. I looked for it on Google Earth. It's been updated. It looks a lot nicer than it did back in the day. But I'm pretty sure that's the same house. So I don't think it would be a good idea to knock on the door and ask them if they've seen a ghost. But anyway, that's our spooky Halloween story for today. Do you like that, Smokey? Good. See you later.